top of Standing Indian Mountain. That wind is really gusting today. So good morning. I'm on the north side of Standing Indian Mountain, the descending side. Not as much wind here. So this is my first check-in. I'm about, let's see, how many miles am I into the day? I'm about 1.87 miles into the day. Been going for about 43 minutes. Despite the wind, it's another beautiful day on the Appalachian Trail. It was a really weird ending to the day yesterday. Terrific day. But first, when I got to Standing Indian Shelter, I really found it odd that I was the only person there, especially now that the thru-hiking season is definitely underway. Now I think I am on the forward edge of those that started ahead of the bubble, but that being said, it was odd. And then when I looked around, I did see a tent set up in the back that didn't appear to be a backpacking style tent. Almost looked like a canvas tent. Definitely a heavier type tent. And you know what? I'm going to put in my headphones because this wind is starting to pick up again. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better with the microphone in. So it's Standing Indian Mountain, it's Standing Indian Shelter. I did see what appeared to be a non-backpacking tent. Nobody else around. I could hear someone in the tent. So thought it might be a homesteader that had taken up there. I looked in the log and noticed that February 3rd was the last time anybody had logged in at that shelter, which is an indicator of when the last person stayed there. I also looked on the Far Out app, and the last entry in Far Out was February 9th. So indication was not a lot of people had been staying there. Definitely the appearance of a homesteader. So putting two and two together, it seemed to me that maybe people were avoiding that shelter. So out of an abundance of caution, I went to a stealth site last night, about 0.1 miles south of the shelter, that I'd seen when I was passing it earlier, and just prior to me arriving. Had a good setup though. I would have liked to have vlogged more about that setup. But I was joined by two other backpackers, Boomerang and Cakes, who were intending on going to Standing Indian Shelter. When I told them what I'd seen, they decided to camp there with me as well. And so we were setting up, and then, as if things couldn't become any more, unplanned, they got weird. And when I say weird, is we then met up with a day hiker, a female day hiker who was obviously lost. I had actually seen this day hiker earlier in my day when I was leaving, actually after I had crossed into North Carolina, and passed her a couple times during the day. Actually saw her at Deep Gap parking lot prior to going up Standing Indian Mountain. And I even saw her, I think it was the third time that day, and I commented, "Hey, wow, you're all over the place today." And lo and behold, in the evening, here she comes walking up again. Well, come to find out, she couldn't find her automobile. She had started her day at Dix Creek in Georgia, same place I had started, and was set for a 16 mile day from Dix Creek to Deep Gap parking lot. She said she had parked her car near deep gap in North Carolina, but the road was closed, so she could only get so far. So she had parked her car off of some side road where there was a local trail, not part of the not part of the AT, that would take her from the AT to her car. But she hadn't really scoped that trail out before. But she parked her car there, and somebody shuttled her to Dix Creek, dropped her off, and so her intent was to hike 16 miles, find that side trail, make it down to her car. Well, she couldn't find the trail down to her car, and so not being able to find her car, she found herself stuck. This day hiker, a very pleasant person, she was very ill prepared. If you recall, prior to the start of my AT hike, I had done a series of equipment videos. And in the first one, I talked about the 10 essentials of backpacking. And they are the 10 essentials that everyone should have with them anytime they enter the backcountry. The Appalachian Trail definitely qualifies as the backcountry. This is a wilderness area. And even as a day hiker, unless you are doing a very short, specific trail, if you're doing a full day's distance, you really do need to have the 10 essentials with you. The 10 essentials being navigation, sun protection, a flashlight or a headlamp, a first aid kit, a repair kit, fire starting equipment, a shelter, some extra food, extra water, extra clothing, because you're setting yourself up for contingencies that might occur that are unplanned, and if you have an emergency, you're then able to better adapt to those conditions. This day hiker did not have any of those items. She had a mobile phone, but she was quickly losing power, had no battery backup, so her primary navigation was useless. She didn't have a printout of the map of the area that she was day hiking. She had only the water that she had brought. She had brought 2 liters of water for the entire day with no filtration system. And so when we found her in the evening, it was late in the day. She was out of water. I filtered water and gave some to her so that she could have some. But as we were getting into the evening, she had no extra clothing other than the day hiking clothing, which she had. And so the temperature last night was in the 40s, 20 to 25 mile wind gusts. With the wind chill factor, I would say we were definitely into the 30s. I would not have been surprised to learn that this day hiker was entering the early stages of hypothermia. She had a couple snack bars, so I think she would have been okay on food, but I don't think she had been eating during the day either. She had no shelter. She had nothing to prepare her body to be in the cold. And so we quickly identified what was becoming an emergency situation, and in an area with little to no cell coverage. Now, for those that may not know, you can dial 911 even when there is limited to no cell phone coverage. The 911 band operates on a different frequency. If I'm wrong, please somebody correct me in the comments. But you can still get out a 911 call. Anyway, Cakes did a fantastic job. He contacted 911. Actually, and because of the location around 3 counties, he actually had to call 3 times to get the right 911 center. But essentially arranged for responders to come to Deep Gap to meet this day hiker and care for her. So Cakes actually escorted her back down, I think almost a mile, 0.9 miles south of where we were, back to the Deep Gap parking lot where the fire department arrived to help take care of her. Again, not a medical professional, but I would be very surprised to learn that she was not in the early stages of hypothermia. Definitely dehydrated. We gave her, collectively we were offering parts of our own gear to help keep her warm. But it's one of those tricky situations because we need this gear out here that we're packing with to survive. And so it's one of those things where we can give you the gear, but we have to have it back. Anyway, Cakes gave her an extra puffy. She had water. She had food. Escorted her down, and they were able to take her away. So that was a success story. But if there's a lesson to be learned there for anybody, the Appalachian Trail is a fantastic place, and it's very navigable. But you have to respect the conditions because it is a wilderness condition. When you get on a 16-mile stretch, you have to do your research to see if there's any areas where you can get off that trail, and if there's not, you have to commit to it. And through a wilderness area such as this, you have to then be prepared. And so 10 essentials, everyone. So that's my roll up from last night. As for today, the outlook, really good day. This downhill is really smooth. I'm feeling great. My Olympus shoes, my new shoes, the Ultra Olympus 4s, working very well. My body felt fantastic this morning. Had a good breakfast, coffee with some oatmeal, with some trail mix mixed in with it, and even a tablespoon of ghee, which is clarified butter. Terrific breakfast. I feel really good. Already warmed up. The wind is, still in and around me. Right now I'm just kind of shielded from it, but we're going to have that all day. There's a chance of some more rain today. It did rain last night, but not too terribly bad. It rained for a couple hours lightly during the night. Even after it had stopped raining, the wind had already dried off most of the rain, so I didn't necessarily have to pack wet today. Hoping to make it to Long Branch Shelter. That's a 16.3 mile day. My ultimate goal is to make it into Franklin in 2 days, which is Monday. Forecast looks like there's going to be thunderstorms on Monday in the afternoon. So I already have a reservation at a hostel. So Monday morning I will hike about, if everything goes according to plan, hike about 8 miles, about 7.6 actually, I think, into a gap where I'll be picked up and taken in to wait out the thunderstorm, and then I'll be able to hit the trail again on Tuesday. This beautiful weather we've had for the string of days looks like it's going to end here. So chances of rain, I think, through the rest of the week. But with limited cell phone coverage, I don't have a very accurate, up-to-date forecast, only what I saw yesterday morning. So I'm not entirely sure how it's trained, but that being said, I have the 10 essentials. So I am ready to respond to whatever condition I'm brought upon. Oh, what a great day. So I'm going to put in some miles. I will check back in hopefully around lunch. It's a beautiful day to be on the AT. This trail is so smooth. I'm at 4.5 miles. My pace right now is about 2.9 miles an hour. Just past the Beach Gap camping area. Got a little water, and I'm gonna keep moving as long as I've got this this nice gentle terrain. I realized a very cool thing when I was checking in on my location. If everything goes as planned, I'm gonna cross 100 miles today. Now I've got some motivation and steam under me. I feel great. Beautiful day. I am stopped to listen to the song of a bird. I don't recognize it, but it is a beautiful song. Sounds like it got further away. Beautiful day. Bear activity in the Betty Woods Gap area. I hope I see a bear. We've become socked in with fog, and it's really pretty. There is just the glimmer of a horizon. Sailing's not too far above us. So almost at mile 9.5. The day's going well. I was making so much progress, I stopped for lunch early. Typically, you know, if I'm doing a 16-mile day, that 8-mile mark has me somewhere, you know, right around noon. Today I actually had lunch at 11 because I reached my halfway point. It's going terrifically. The fog's really quite pretty. This is one of those really quiet days where I get to reflect. There is the fire tower on the top of Albert Mountain, which is our next destination. That is also the 100-mile mark. Let's go get it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, not even at the top yet. Oh. Albert Mountain, you have to want it. That's a difficult climb.
Happy 29th birthday on my cake.
100 miles. It's worth it so far. All right, everybody, I made it to the top of Albert Mountain at the base of the fire tower. It's a beautiful view. It's marked as the 100-mile marker on the Appalachian Trail. However, it's not actually the 100-mile marker. We're at mile 99.7. So about a little over, well, about a quarter mile down the trail, we're going to reach the official 100-mile marker. Short little downhill, and then I should be checking in at Long Branch Shelter. Thank you. So, change of plans. My body is still feeling good. I arrived at Long Branch Shelter, and it was only 2:30 in the afternoon. So there's another 3.4 miles that I can walk, and then I will get to Rock Gap Shelter. That will make for a 19.7 mile day. And with as good as I'm feeling, I think I'm gonna go for it. Boy, it's just a beautiful day. And I'll be honest, I think the milestone of hitting 100 miles has added fuel to me. I have a lot of energy right now. I have been eating all along the trail. And so as long as I feel good, my body feels good, I'm willing to walk longer. So 3.4 to go, and then I will be stopping. So I'm coming up upon my last mile for the day. Coming down a hill into Rock Gap Shelter. It will be a welcome sight when I see it. I can feel the fatigue starting to set in, and I am glad of the time. I'm going to roll in at about 4 o'clock. That'll allow me to get my camp chores complete, set up my tent, hang my bag, and all of those things, and eat, and be ready for bed by 6, I would presume. So I am going into the town of Franklin tomorrow. That will be about a 3.8 mile day for me tomorrow to Winding Stair Gap, where I will get picked up by shuttle. I'm going to Chica and Sunsets, which I'm actually very happy about. I've heard amazing things about it. But there are storms coming in tomorrow, and so general consensus of really any other backpackers I've seen is everyone's trying to get into Franklin tomorrow to avoid the storms. I will be only taking a Nero, and then I will hit it again on Tuesday, but it looks like I will be rain walking for a couple days. If all goes well, I should be at the Knock on Wednesday. I should reach Fontana Village around Friday, and if all of that goes according to plan, then after a 0 in Fontana Village, I should enter the Smokies on Sunday, a week from today. Everything is going very well. I can't be more pleased on how well things have gone in this first week of time on EAT. Thanks again, everybody, for continuing to support me. I know there are comments waiting for me. Once I get into Chica and Sunsets, I'll be able to look at those comments. But the support has been amazing. I'm grateful for everyone who is following this journey. And I'm absolutely looking forward to another day on the AT. Thanks again, everybody. I'm Bricks.